started. Okay, Sam, we're here. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for being here. So I wanted to start this dialogue about health, fitness, wellness,
Oh,
especially
okay.
like while we're in the middle of a pandemic. I don't
Yeah.
even know if we're in the middle or like in the end or if it's ever
Yeah.
going to end, but I feel like once this pandemic started, a lot of people thought that they would have time to exercise and do all the
Right.
things that they never do when they had that 9 to 5 grind and traffic and all
Yeah.
that. But what we've seen is that people are still not exercising and still not doing anything. It's probably worse now because
And it's reversed. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, because they're at home, they're next to the fridge, they're eating all the time. And so
Yeah.
you've been one of the friends in our circle of friends who's happened to maintain this level of fitness. So that's why I was like, let me talk to Sam about this because you need to share your jewels with us so that we can
Oh,
all
okay.
get better.
Thank you.
So, so you grew up in Ethiopia. What part of Ethiopia?
Yeah, I grew up in the. It's called Marabiti.
Mhm.
Is in the Shawa of Ethiopia.
And when you were there, like growing up and living your life, was there like this known idea about health and fitness, or were you more thinking about stuff as like a kid would?
It's just because I came like when I was like 9 or 10, I believe. Yeah, 9 or 10. So, and also basically like back home, we don't really focus on health because we're always like going like distance places.
Mhm.
So like here, there's like you can take a bike or a car and all that. But back home, anything that we do, grocery shopping, going to movies, anything is just like maybe like 10 miles, 20 miles, going to church and all that stuff. So you know we don't think of it, but when I look back now, we're like we had like a healthy lifestyle back home,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
we always do cardio.
yeah. So in changing, like you had to adjust to a whole new lifestyle when you came over to the US. And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
in the shift, like we don't really walk anywhere. It's always in the car. It's always like, you're stuck in one place, like for
Yeah.
your job from 9 to 5, and we're not really as active. So when you first came over, did you automatically start exercising, or did it take some time for you to actually feel like exercising?
Well, when I came, I thought like I thought I was gonna be playing soccer because back home soccer is huge.
Mm-hmm.
But and then when I used to go to when I was going to my high school through Balboa Park, I always see people playing soccer. I'm like, oh wow, I can play soccer, nice. And there's like a ball, but I don't have to like, to have a ball back home is like a big deal. Like here, I see like soccer balls everywhere. I'm like, I was so excited, and then I just thought of it like they're like in their own universe who's playing, and then I was excited first to play with them, but then I found out that I fall in love with basketball because when I started playing in middle school, and then I got into basketball, and then after that, soccer just faded away. And then with basketball, I started randomly like running a Balboa, and then the rest is history. So that's how it happened. First, I was playing basketball, and then after basketball, running was never pictured back home.
Mm-hmm.
I did it here.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's weird to say from
Yeah.
Ethiopian guy, but I got it here. It's here. I got it here.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
started doing it. Yeah, I started doing it, and then first time I did it, I remember first week I was like having knee issue, joints, like cramp and all that. And the reason is because I used to eat like all the greasy Ethiopian food or like Mickey D's and all that, and bad food. And then I'm like, oh, how come I'm in this cramp and all that? Like also my rate wasn't doing well, my distance wasn't good, and then I just thought to myself, I'm gonna keep pushing, and I keep running. I started with like 3 miles, and I keep going. My rate was like 15 per mile and stuff like that, and then I keep doing it every day and every day, and then I just like mentally just like if I don't do it, I just like I feel like somebody who doesn't drink coffee or somebody who doesn't smoke cigarette basically came to me like that.
Yeah.
After I did it a year, Michelle, like it just basically became automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I have a busy day, like I can have a busy day the whole day. I know I cannot sleep without running. That's
Mhm.
how crazy I got. So the pandemic did not affect me at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, how many miles a day do you run now? Because before I thought you were doing like 5, and then all of a sudden it was 10, and then you have random days where we see you doing 15 miles. So what's your average on a daily basis?
My average, I would say 10 a mile,
Hmm.
10, 10 miles per day.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, 10 miles per day. Yeah. So I keep it that way. I keep it consistent, you know. But if I'm in a rush time, like I say, I would do maybe like 5 or 8, but I don't go below 5. That's
yeah.
why that's the lowest I can go. Yeah.
So for me, like that I've had like this on again, off again relationship with running, and
Yeah.
it stemmed from what I seen my brother doing, because my brother was actually, competing in races all the time. And so I was like, if he can do a half marathon, maybe I can do one too. And I never thought that I would ever be able to run 13 miles.
You
And
see?
so
Yeah.
until I actually did it,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of suffering involved, right? Because I
Exactly.
wasn't
Yeah.
like training and like getting up and doing it that way. And
Yeah.
then I also had this feeling of like, I liked people liking that I was exercising. So I felt like I was motivated to do it for the likes, like
I see
posting
what
on
you.
Instagram or something, and then people like
Got it.
it,
Got
and
it.
then I like the feeling, and people think I'm healthy. And then it's like, I had to like reevaluate the way I thought about exercising, because it was like leaving the intended purpose. Like the intended purpose is to be healthy, right? And
Yeah.
to have
Yeah. That's true.
healthy body, because in 20 years, we're still going to have the same body. But then it started to shift from that to like people
Yeah. Yeah.
liking it. So I
Oh, yeah.
had to like take a
Yeah.
look at that and say, okay,
You're
am I
right.
doing this for myself, or am I doing it for someone else? So
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
after
You're
I had
right.
the baby, I was like, okay, I'm not going to become one of those moms who just gained a bunch of weight, and then like, how am I going to have a healthy daughter if I'm not healthy myself? So that's when
Yeah.
I did the marathon. Like, and I actually trained every day. And like you said, like when you first started, it was hard, but then it
Oh,
got
yeah. You're
easier
right.
over time when you adjusted your diet and you started to do it more regularly. And
Yeah.
so I guess the question is, how did diet play a role, like from the beginning until now? Because you've changed, like you said, McDonald's, and now you're basically vegetarian.
Yeah,
So
because if you recall, like when we were at CSAN, you remember I used to like eat McDonald's or Chipotle and play basketball because it doesn't affect me because just like basketball, just stop and go. But running, it just you're doing it consistently. So when I was like started running, when I was eating bad, I started like having cramps. So like those are painful doing that running while doing that. So I like I say if there was a celebration, I would do soda or something like bad. But other than that, like a normal day, I usually monitor my diet because running make me do that, make me disciplined
mhm,
to do that. I'll be like, oh shit, I don't know if I drink the soda, I don't know if I can go to Balboa
yeah.
and do the whole loop. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so what kind of stuff do you eat now? Like on a day, like a regular day, like today or maybe yesterday, what did you consume? What did you notice that you were consuming? And is it water now instead of soda, or are you drinking tea, or like what are you doing?
yeah, I drink a lot of water. I'm not gonna lie, I drink a lot of juice. Yeah, I drink juice. But before I run, I always have a huge bottle. I try to eat. I'm try to drink water and also eat a bar before I run. That's
Mhm.
the only thing I do.
Yeah.
Every time before I run, I only do those things because if you do heavy eating, you're not gonna do well while running.
Hmm.
And if you do it without eating, you're not gonna do well too because you need carbs to run.
Right. And
So
you
I
burn
only
so many calories that even if you did drink juice, or even if you did eat bad stuff, it would be burned, right? But you just wouldn't feel as good, I guess.
exactly. It's just like when you're about to run, you gotta make sure what you eat,
Hmm.
but you also have to make sure you eat.
Hmm.
And but like I say though, like you don't yeah, you're right, I don't have to watch my carbs since I run that. But before you run, you just have to watch what you eat or what you drank, because that's gonna play a role when you're at Balboa Park running.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the next thing is, you mentioned this a little bit already, but you said if you don't exercise, you kind of feel like how a person without coffee feels. Like
I
you feel
swear. Yeah.
anxious, you just have to run. And so you already have a heads up, whereas most of us, like, we feel like, oh, I just don't feel like running today because I just don't feel like it. Whereas you're just like, well, if I don't run, I'm gonna feel worse. So how
Exactly.
did you always have that mindset? Like you have to work out, otherwise you won't feel good, versus the opposite?
Yeah, I even before I started running, like I remember when I don't play basketball, I remember I used to feel weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, yeah, like I feel like oh man, like people would know, like if I'm,
Bad?
yeah, like even like Roya knows if I don't run, she knows my mood.
Yeah.
Like she like I get cranky, like and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she knows. So
Maybe it's like the runner's high, or like
yeah,
the amount of endorphins you get from exercising. It's like that feel good hormone.
yeah, yeah. It's just because you're like I'm in my own universe when I'm running, because I'm like thinking whatever I want to think while I'm running. So
Yeah.
like it feels good, and it clears my mind after I run.
Yeah.
Like it just like it's like a nice feeling after you run.
Yeah, totally. I always am happy after I exercise, but I still struggle with that. Oh, I just don't feel like it today. So I learned that you can't exercise based on your emotions. Like, you just have to do it every day because you know that it's good for you, and eventually it'll start to
Yeah,
be better.
yeah. Like example you were saying about the social media. If you notice, I cut off my social media like 7 months ago because
Yes.
I just thought of it like let me see like if I'm only doing it for me or like just like that selfie stuff that I used to do on Instagram.
You're doing it for the clout. We were all doing it for the running club. Even though, like I said, you would exercise no matter what, even if
Yeah,
you liked it or didn't like it. But I feel like there is something to be said about the people
yeah,
who like put on like running clothes and get the shoes right and everything's
yeah,
clean just for the perfect selfie. And
yeah.
then you see them offline and they look like they've never worked out in their life, like it's like, so
I know, I
putting on
know.
this front that they're doing it and they're not really doing it.
Yeah,
That's
especially this generation is tricky, Like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's tricky. It's all about like, like those kind of things. But and then when you like, oh, am I doing this for myself or for I'm doing it for social media? You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's how So that's why I put myself on my in the test. Like I did it already 7 months, like without a gram, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's all good. I don't. All
You
right.
don't miss
So
it?
I don't. No, not really. No.
It's
I
good.
thought I would. I'm like, oh, okay, because I do like some funky videos and stuff and the stories. But I'm like, oh, you know what? I realized that like I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
I found out like I don't really like need to
Yeah.
do random videos and selfies and stuff. So yeah, that's what I found out.
That's
I
huge.
only thought I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be like, oh man, I should go back. But
Mhm.
now I got used to it, like no going back. Like I say, like how I start, like now how I like running like automatically, like Instagram, I just like it's faded away already for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah,
So in line with that, like, you also, like me, discovered ways to use fitness in your workplace. Like, so I'll just give it, for example, for us, it was like the fitness challenges, right? Like,
yeah,
I
the
was
one.
able to find a way to be healthy at work and then get benefits like gift certificates or whatever else, or recognition from, my
Yeah,
superiors because I
yeah,
was willing to lead 5Ks or whatever it was. And then you also started to get the same thing, right? Like, weren't they rewarding you for health?
yeah. They still are. They still are. Like, I was able to buy a lot of gifts for Roya because I get a lot of incentive from Medtronics. Yeah,
Yeah, so they're paying you to be healthy. That's
yeah, because I have the thing that tracks all my steps and all that, my workout. So they know I, like nobody mess with me.
mm-hmm.
So they always give me all the stuff that they have. They give me like close to $1,000 just to do those stuff. So
Yeah.
like and me, anything that's free,
Yeah,
so
me too.
yeah,
Me too.
yeah,
So, okay, so there's two more questions. So one is, have you ever like felt compelled to get the people around you to be more fit? And have you like run into challenges? For me, for instance, I've tried to like incorporate friends in like my wellness activities, but then I would get discouraged when they weren't really into it, like they didn't want to
yeah,
go hiking or they didn't want to run or they don't want to do this. So I stopped focusing on them and just had to do me. But that's been a challenge. Like, have you had that experience?
Yeah, I did have a challenge. Like, my grandma, I still take her to Balboa Park and I do it. So
Mhm.
like, somebody who's 90, who's able to go to the park and move around. And
Yeah.
I do like, I try to make her do like a mile a day.
Hmm.
So, no, I just try to go like to see like what is their convenient. That's what I do, to be honest.
Yeah. And
And
what do you
like,
say, like, what's your advice to people who want to have like a healthy life but haven't really done it yet?
oh yeah. So that what I say is that don't compare your rates or your distance with the other people,
Hmm.
because you will get there as long as you be consistent.
Yeah.
Because you kind of say, oh my god, I'm too slow. I'm doing like 20 minutes per mile. Like, yeah, I mean, but if you keep do like, example would say like the first week you should do like 3 miles, and then maybe like have 15 per mile,
Hmm.
and then keep going every day.
Hmm.
Once you keep doing it every day, then next week you will say instead of 15, you will go to 12. And then the next week you will go, the rate will keep going down if you do that. But if you're trying to go like, oh man, I'm too slow, or I don't have time. Literally, oh, you have time.
Yes.
There's 24 hours. All you need is like an hour. So nobody can say you have no time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
so
like
I.
eliminating the excuses, which is I don't have time, I don't feel like it. And then you just basically stick to a regimen. You create the regimen yourself. So I would
Yeah,
even say to people, just start with 30 minutes of activity. You don't even
exactly.
need
Yeah.
to like commit yourself. We lost
Uh-huh.
we lost you on the video, but it's okay.
What happened?
You disappeared from video, but are you still here? Well, so I'm just going to continue by saying to start with a regimen, choose a time period. I say 30 minutes at least if you're an adult, an hour if you're a child, and just do something every single day and don't limit yourself to excuses and reasons why you can't do things. Okay, now let me see if I can get him back in here. Okay, so you're back, but your your picture is still up there.
Yeah, I said like some freaking random numbers calling me. So sorry
Okay.
about that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so we were just closing out anyway. So you basically said
Sorry.
what your advice was to people who need to start is basically just don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah, don't compare yourself to other stuff. And then if you want to do exercising, just try to do individually,
Yeah, yeah. All right.
because you're gonna be scared. Like, oh man, like this person's going faster than me. Oh, this person's about to do 10 miles. This person's about to do this and that. But
Yeah.
if you just do it alone, you'll be
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, you know what? This is not bad.
Yeah.
But
I think that's big too. People detaching themselves from social media because that's also gonna always compare them to other people. So people
exactly. Yeah,
post
you like.
exercising, like be okay with just exercising on your own and you liking that, and then don't worry about social media until you develop what you've already done is to like say, I'm doing this for me. I don't really need the approval or the praise from other people.
Exactly, and then they just create a playlist, and then just have your music and just be on your own, like at the park or at the gym or stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I just go to get in the zone, like just do individual things.
Hmm.
Because if you compare, like looking at other people, you're gonna be discouraged and then gonna come back and
Right.
do it again. So that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else before we say bye?
Yeah, so like I was telling you about like some of your friends want to you want to encourage them. Just tell them what I tell you. Just tell them like what why you want to do it, why you want to do it, and do you want to wait until your doctor tell you to do it,
Right.
or you know what I mean? Do you
Yeah,
want to,
totally.
so why you got to find yourself why you want to do it, and don't compare yourself to others, and just be consistent. That's my advice. Be consistent. Exercise is all about consistent. Once you do for 30 days or 60 days, it will be it's all mental.
Hmm.
So it will be a mental, and then you'll be clicked. That's the advice I can give. And my last note.
All right,
Yeah,
Ethiopia
yeah.
Mamba. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
I
Hey,
appreciate
hey,
it.
hey, hey, Michelle.